Hello there, my name is Brigitte Kaiser and I am the founder of the Earth Custodians movement. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to our channel.
Speaker has said that human society is so constructed throughout the world that most people are occupied with jobs, pleasant or unpleasant, from 9 to 5 every day of their life. And he said also that it's intolerable imprisonment.
Invoking the motive of a paycheck does not have any sound basis whatsoever, because we quickly become dependent of being paid. And that is where servitude begins to work its way through, eroding freedoms from every angle. Monetarism promotes both intellectual and moral prostitution. Moral prostitution, of course, comes first, as it all starts with the idea to respond one's own needs according to any given situation. Moreover, all pleasant jobs will eventually become boring, some quicker than others, because the tasks involved are repetitive. But this is what society has conditioned us into accepting since ever, to join the workforce and do the same repetitive tasks over and over. We are trained to take society for granted and taught that routines and consensuses equate security. Passion about what one does is the only currency.
I don't know how you feel about it. Probably you like being in prison. Probably you liked your jobs from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, rushing back and all the rest of it. But most of us accept this prison, this routine, right? You understand? We accept it. So what shall we do?
The act of living is a challenge in itself and does not offer any security, since we do not live forever. It is essential that we emotionally process very deeply the finitude of life to bring about the changes perceived out of reach. If we are genuine about transforming the world, we must embrace life to the fullest instead of struggling to maintain this elusive security to fit the consensuses at all cost. The most prevailing attitude is that many people long for others to lead the change, but also unfortunately use this as an excuse for complacency, blaming others for their own lack of action, often because financial responsibilities are seen as a priority. We ought to come to terms with the fact that the elite will never change. Otherwise, we wouldn't call them so anymore. There is nothing to expect from them. The state of the planet proves it. Their promises, no matter how appealing, are never acted upon. And this means that we have to be the change ourselves.
As far as one is capable of sufficient, efficient observation, nobody has questioned this. We say it is normal, it's the way of society, it's the way of our life, it's the way we must live. But if we all see together that such a imprisonment, which it is actually, and that we all feel it is intolerable, not just verbally, but actually do something about it, will create a new society.
Initiating an intellectual and social revolution must come from each of us stepping out and reclaiming our freedoms as inalienable birthrights. The future of society will ultimately depend on a critical mass to rise up against our intolerable imprisonment, comprehending that all lives are equal. Coming together is what must be done to end all cynical hypocrisy, such as 11 million starving in the war-torn Yemen and the Christchurch event in New Zealand that has killed 50 people, which is overly mediatized compared to the Yemeni famine.
Right? We will, if all of us say we will not tolerate for a single day this routine, this monstrous activity of 9 to 5, however necessary, however good and pleasant, then we will bring about not only psychological revolution, but also outwardly. Right? We may agree about this, but will we do it? You might say, no, I can't do it because I have responsibility. I have children, I have a house and mortgage, insurance. Thank God I haven't got any of those.
The fear of being is at the core of what holds us back. Should we dare calmly observe what this fear is composed of, we would eventually end up comprehending our planetary irrationality. That very fear of being, in which we are all born with, is in fact destined to be overcome. Even though every individual has a different vision about the pursuit of knowledge, the mission to free ourselves from that fear is a common goal. It is the only way to separate the illusion from the truth. Fear is what conditions humans into doing things they do not want to do. All man's problems begin with himself, and then are projected outwardly, then come back in a loop. So what do we do from there?
A revolution of this kind, not bloody and all the rest of it, then we'll create quite a different society, won't we? So you want others to create the society, and you can then slip into it. That's what we're all waiting for. Few struggle, work, create, and refuse to enter into this rat race. And the others say, yes, after you have constructed that, what you think is the right society, then we'll all join. But we don't do it together. That's the whole problem.
If you really think about it, following the money actually promotes low self-esteem because the consensus is built on competitive behaviors. A competitive system inherently generates regrets because a lack of competition is systematically punished, sustained the bitterness of not being better at what one does, being unable to accomplish a breakthrough, and this leads to self-loathing in the worst-case scenario.
Right? But we have constructed a society built a society based on violence, armaments, each nation protecting itself against other nations. And so we are perpetuating wars, killing your sons, your daughters, everything. And we support it. In the same way, we support, maintain this imprisonment. It may be pleasant for those who have an agreeable job, but those who refuse to enter this game, they will act, they will do something. So the problem is, do we see the importance or the necessity of this change?
Following a salary also perpetuates ignorance, because people who think they know better intrinsically feel that they are entitled to extract more from society. Objectively speaking, that very consensus teaches to look down on people who are perceived as less successful, an attitude that is well too often hidden behind the mask of political correctness. As a matter of fact, if thinking a little further, this perception of admiring success really means to give more privileged people the right to trample others. This prevailing Darwinian mindset is at the core of injustice, inequality, and structural violence. Our social model is, let's not mince our words, completely sadomasochistic. External manipulation then becomes very easy to achieve, as most people look for quick solutions to a lifestyle that keeps them in a state of disconnect from within. Society is being fragmented ever deeper. Any system whose aims are to bring about a profound change needs to reconcile the psychological with the metaphysical aspects. There lies the particular fields of action of the Earth Custodians movement.